There are moments in history when silence speaks louder than command, when a man's refusal echoes longer than 1,000 shouted orders. It was the 43rd Battalion, stationed along the northern frontier, a place of frost, mud, and pride. Command there was absolute, and none questioned Captain Rorik Vale, a man whose voice could cut through storms and whose temper broke men faster than bullets. Among the recruits stood Private Elias Ward. He was quiet, too quiet for a soldier, some said. He carried his rifle like it was sacred, polished his boots without being told, and spoke only when spoken to. What set him apart was not his strength, but his restraint, an unshakable calm that unsettled those who thrived on fear. That morning, the battalion stood in inspection lines, boots aligned, rifles gleaming. Captain Vale paced the ranks with a cold grin, searching for mistakes to punish. When his gaze found Elias, it lingered, not out of suspicion, but challenge. Vale ordered something no soldier should ever hear. He commanded Elias to falsify a report, to blame another man for a failed maneuver, protecting Vale's own misjudgment from the higher command. The order hung heavy in the air. The recruits froze, waiting. A lesser man would have obeyed, but Elias Ward didn't move. His voice, low yet firm, broke the silence. "Sir, my oath is to truth, not convenience." The captain's smirk faded. A storm had just begun. Captain Vale stepped closer, boots grinding into the dirt, his face inches from Elias. "You forget your place, Private," he hissed. "You follow orders." Elias didn't flinch. His steady gaze met the captain's glare like stone meeting flame. Vale raised his voice so all could hear. "Then show your loyalty, or I'll make an example of you." The air cracked with tension. The recruits held their breath. Elias, calm as still water, reached for his report sheet, tore it cleanly in half, and dropped it at the captain's feet. The sound of tearing paper cut through the air like a gunshot. For a full 3 seconds, no one moved. Then the silence deepened, heavier, colder. Captain Vale's face drained of color. His authority shattered in front of his own men. No weapon was raised. No blow was struck. Yet everyone felt the impact. The captain's jaw tightened. He could have ordered punishment on the spot, confinement, lashes, discharge. Yet something in the young man's composure robbed him of power. Elias stood perfectly still, eyes forward, unshaken by the threat of ruin. Vale turned sharply toward the battalion. "Anyone else wish to defy command?" he barked, but his voice cracked. The men remained silent, not from fear but from awe. That silence was the beginning of his end. Within hours, word spread through the camp like wildfire. Some whispered that Elias had lost his mind. Others said he'd found his soul. When the matter reached Colonel Hensley, a man known for fairness and iron discipline, he summoned them both. The colonel's chamber was dim, lit only by a single lamp. "Private Ward," Hensley said quietly, "you understand what disobedience means?" Elias nodded. "Yes, sir, but dishonor spreads faster than courage if left unchecked." The colonel studied him for a long moment, then turned to Vale. "Captain, your order was unlawful. You used command to protect yourself, not your men." Vale's protest faltered. He knew the investigation would confirm it. "Captain Rorik Vale," the colonel said, "you are hereby relieved of duty, pending review." As guards escorted Vale out, the colonel faced Elias again. "You got kept quiet," he said. "You chose the harder path." Elias replied, "Silence is a kind of lie, sir, the kind that outlives the truth." The colonel nodded slowly. "Then let history remember your words." The next morning, the battalion saluted Elias as he passed. Not as a hero, but as a reminder. A single act of honor had redefined what it meant to obey. Months turned into years. The war dragged on, but the story of that morning refused to fade. New recruits were told of the man who tore the captain's order in half and walked away unbroken. They called it the day of the silent rebellion. Elias Ward continued to serve, quietly, steadfastly. When asked about that day, he would simply say, "A man's strength is not in his obedience, but in what he refuses to betray." Captain Vale's name, once feared, became a cautionary tale. His downfall was not written in reports or official orders. It was etched in the silence of those who had witnessed it. Years later, when Elias retired, a young officer approached him and asked, "Was it worth it, sir, risking everything for one act of defiance?" Elias smiled faintly. If the price of integrity is comfort, I'll pay it twice. He walked away into history, leaving behind no monuments, no medals, only a legacy of unbending conscience. Even now, in the dusty barracks of the 43rd Battalion, a single phrase remains painted on the wall, faded but untouched. Truth needs no rank to stand tall. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories from States of History.